Hello everyone, welcome back to physics class. So today I'll tell you, to start with motion chapter 8. I'll tell you definition of motion, types of motion and motion is a relative quantity. That I'm going to discuss. Now what is motion? A simple word. Now meaning of motion is if an object position is changing with time, then an object is said to be in motion. So let's say it is now I am standing, my position is fixed. That means I am in rest position. I will start moving. Now if you see my position, it is changing with respect to time. That means I am in motion. So very simple definition of motion. If an object position is changing with respect to time, then it is in motion. Types of motion. Many categories. What you have to do is only few that you can search around you. Like this pen, this is in motion, our earth, it is in rotational motion. So like this there are various type of motion. Few I will tell you and example I will tell you. Let's say for one I already told you rotational motion. So you can give example of earth. Okay, it is rotating around sun. Then oscillatory motion, that is we can give example of pendulum. So it goes to and fro. Vibratory motion. So here you can give example of sound waves. They travel by vibrating the air molecule. Then linear motion. If a object is traveling or is moving in straight line, then what you have is linear motion. Random motion, that is of any fixed path, zigzag motion that you can see. So there may be many other type of motion, circular motion, translation motion. Okay. Now, motion is relative. What is the meaning of this? That means, whenever we define motion or whenever we are defining whether an object is at rest position or it is in motion depends on the reference point. For example, let's say this is earth, a person is here and you are here. And here is the, let's say this is moon. And now initially when person is here, when he sees you, you are at rest position. The same person, if you come move, then you will appear to be in motion, right? Because of motion of earth. So here, if person is here, then this is in rest. But if the person is here, then the same, it comes in, it appears to be in motion. Right? That means by seizing simply a reference point, motion can be, either it can be rest or it can be motion. And this is the meaning of relative. Okay. So depending on reference point or origin, you can define motion. One more example I will tell you to make it more clear. Let's say a moving bus. So this is the bus moving in this forward direction. And two passengers are there, A and B. Now person is standing over here, C. Now if this person C, he sees this A and B. So for this C person, A and B, they appear to be in motion. Right? Because this bus is moving. Now let's suppose instead of this position, now C is here. Now for this C, A and B, they are sitting, they are in rest position. So you see, simply by changing the reference point, you can see the same person, they may be in rest or in motion. So if C is here, then A and B are moving. If C is here, then A and B are at rest position. That means motion is relative, it depends on frame of reference you are talking about. Okay. Hope this is clear to you. Now, scalar and vector quantity. Only little bit about this tell you, more you will have in higher class. Scalar quantity, there are quantities, physical quantities like mass, temperature, distance, time, and they have, each of them is having some units, standard unit also and other unit also. Now, the quantities that we can define only by magnitude are scalar quantities. And meaning of magnitude is number. Okay, that means when I am saying mass is 5 kg, so I am assigning a number 5 to that quantity. So 5 is magnitude of mass, and here mass is my scalar quantity. Right? Vector quantities, those quantities which can be described by both magnitude and direction. They need both for their description. Magnitude, that is number, plus direction. Those quantities are vector quantities. So here in physics, we have divided physical quantities into scalar and vector quantities. So let's repeat once more. Scalar, which is only having those quantities, which is only having magnitude, that is a number assigned to it. Whereas vector, it is a quantity which is having those quantities which we can describe by using magnitude and direction. And now what I am going to tell you, all these quantities we are going to divide into vector and scalar. Okay. So start with distance and displacement. Okay. And when in the end, when after this explaining this part of distance and displacement, in the end I'll tell you which one is scalar, or better you can tell me which one is scalar, which one is vector. Okay. So distance and displacement. Distance word very common, right? What is definition of that? In a simple word you can say path length covered or length covered. So let's say if this is my origin, and if I am moving up to this point, so let's say this is 1 meter. So distance I have covered is 1 meter, right? So distance is length covered. And what is standard unit of length? Meter. So distance is, standard unit of distance is also meter. Now then what is displacement? Okay, so let's see me. Observe me carefully what I am doing. So this is my origin point. Let us assume up to this point it is 2 meter and this is middle. Now what I am doing is, starting from this point 0, I am going to end point, which is 2 meter, and then again I am coming to midpoint, which is 1 meter from origin. So now distance travelled is, so 0 to 2 meter, and then again 1 meter, that means here distance travelled is 3 meter. And but if you see actual distance, actually how much far I am from my initial point, it is only 1 meter, right? And that is your displacement, shortest distance covered. Okay, or you can say distance covered between initial and final position is your displacement. Okay, so no matter, let's say if I am starting from this A point, I am going to this B point, and then I am coming back to C point. Okay, so if this hole is 3 meter, or I'll take 4 meter, so this is middle point 2 meter. So if I am coming back, so if I have to find distance, so I travel 4 meter plus 2 meter. Now in this case, distance is 4 plus 2, that is 6 meter. And if I have to see displacement, then what I will do? Initial position, I know this, starting position. End position I have to locate. End position is this middle position. Now what I have to find is distance between these two. Okay, which is 2 meter. So displacement is 2 meter. The displacement is shortest distance covered or length between initial and final. Straight line between initial and final position will give you displacement. And this is also length, so standard unit is meter. One more example I will give you to understand it better. Let's take an example of a rectangle. So let's say a person, so this is 2 meter, this is 1 meter, this is rectangle, so this is 2, this is 1. So a person is standing over here. So these are the points A, B, C and D. So let's say a person standing over here. Okay. Then what he do is he travels along this length, then this length, and then this length. And here it stops here at D point. Now what you have to do is you have to find here distance and displacement. So what is distance? Total length covered. So he moves to 2 meter, plus 1 meter plus 2 meter. So distance become 2 plus 1 plus 2, that is 5 meter. Now what is displacement here? So let's find out displacement. The displacement is, as I told you have to find in between or shortest distance between initial and final position. So this is your starting position, end position, and this straight line length. So this is 1 meter, that means displacement is only 1 meter. Hope this is clear to you. Today I'll stop here. Next lecture I will tell you more about this distance and displacement. I'll give you few more examples to make this concept clear to you. Meanwhile, what you can do is, you can see this. If you have any confusion, you can ask me. Thank you.